There's this, there's an idea that's been going around for a long time that you need to go to college or get secondary education in order to get a good job. I believe this, and it cost me a huge chunk of money in order to learn the same stuff that I could learn online just a little bit cheaper. It took a little around 2 years of college experience and 5+ years of industry experience to know what I know. And what I do know is that your portfolio matters. Your portfolio matters, and the way that you convey the information matters. You could know all the things there is to know about design programs and the latest design techniques and the trending things that are breakthrough moments for the year. But if you don't know how to communicate that stuff in a portfolio or convey it in some way that the client understands, you're not going to get the job. The client isn't going to know what you went through to design that logo or the years of experience that it took for you to get to this point. They're not going to know your process behind the design, and they're not going to understand the meaning behind it. The same goes for animation, graphics, or whatever else that you could be making. You have to tell them, you have to show your process. I mean, I kind of need to take my own advice because look what I have now. Another thing that I learned in my experience is that it may be better to understand that you kind of look like a risk if you don't have a degree, and that's okay. My first job offer came before I graduated. My employer took a big risk on me and actually flew me out to the state before I even got hired. I figured there was probably 20 more people that were more qualified than I was in order to get the role, but my employer took a risk on me, and it ended up being a great partnership. At the time, I was 20 years old, I had never left home, and I didn't have any experience in the design space other than what I learned from school. I believe that it was a combination of what I knew along with who I knew that got me the position. When I went to college, I was fresh out of high school, and so I learned with my peers and built relationships with them. There were plenty of opportunities to do so, but there were also plenty of opportunities that I didn't take that could have led to more networking and more possibilities. Networking is probably the most underrated thing in the design space, and is probably also one of the more scary things if you're an introvert or don't necessarily enjoy large crowds. But it's also one of the most important things. So I urge you to push through it, even though it's pretty uncomfortable. Another thing that I learned is that there's tons of free resources out there, but you have to learn how to navigate through the sea of so many different mock-ups and different tools and different presets that you can download and get for free that might not be the best quality. There are obviously paid assets, but those are paid and not everyone has the funds to do so. If you can, I would urge you to get the paid resources because a lot of times their quality is far superior to that of their free counterparts. That's not to say that free resources are bad. There's plenty of free stuff that's awesome that you can download, whether it be presets or photos or whatever. And if you're just starting, there's free courses that are available on YouTube or other platforms, and there's also paid resources on platforms like Skillshare and others. Another thing, always write down your ideas. I had this idea for the video in the middle of the night, and I was fortunate enough to be able to remember it in the morning, but I always keep a notebook with me whenever I can. Write down all of your ideas, even if you think they're cringy, lame, stupid, whatever. People will probably benefit from them. Also, make sure to keep track of where you write these things down. A lot of times my notes get scattered all over my apartment, and it's a little bit hard to keep track of everything. Super important. On a last note, aim to do what you love. It doesn't matter if someone else is going to think that it's stupid or crazy or kind of lame or whatever. Don't let people that you know, or people that you don't know for that matter, stop you from doing something that you love and make you later regret that you didn't do it. I don't regret going to design school. I definitely made relationships and networked with people that I wouldn't have networked otherwise. And it brought me some great relationships that I still have to this day. If you're thinking about going to design school, great. And if you think that it's the path for you, awesome, do it. But if you're not wanting to do it, that's also great too. It's really up to you, whatever you want to do. And this is just what I've learned in my experience, and I hope that others can benefit from it.